Welcome back, everybody. It's Thursday and tomorrow's Friday, thank goodness. Um, Yesterday we had some weird stuff go on in the chat, and just to clarify, if someone is coming in and they're blatantly trying to disrupt the group, then just, you don't even have to time them out. Just get them out because they're really not in there to listen or learn or to talk to people. They just want to disrupt. And also, if someone is coming in and they're disrupting and trying to make their claim as to what they think the doctrine should read and things like that, it's like, go ahead and give them some time. But if they are completely adamant that this is the way it is, then you could tell them to go start your own channel, because I've come up against these people a lot, and they're not here, excuse me, to learn. What they're there is to take over the channel. So, I mean, it's up to you guys what you want to put up with the chat. But if I saw that, that's how I would have handled it. But it takes a lot of time talking to these people, and I don't know how much time I'm going to have to be able to do this. So it's like, and you see people come and go from here. You see people that be very, very active and then just leave without a trace. So we've got our regulars, we got the people that are in here all the time, and then you'll get that sudden troll hit, and you just have to decide, what do you want to put up with there? Because by the time that I get done and I look back, I can only scroll so far back, so I've not really seen everything that's going on. So you do what you feel is right, and for me, I don't put up with that. I have been around a long time to know what these people really are in their objectives. I'm gonna say hi to everybody. Hi, Mind, and Kim, and Eagle, and Deb. So, today we're going to go over something a little different. We're going to go over Revelation chapter 18, and then we're going to go into Jeremiah chapter 50. And in this, I mean, because when the trumps blow, when, it's right at that end there, this is the condition in which Babylon will be in. And you kind of have to understand God's point of view on that, and seeing really what's in there and what he's going to do, and with the people that are in it, But in that, these people will clearly know that they're worshiping Satan. They will know that for a fact. And these are the armies that go against God. So, those people that get out, quickly get out, those are the ones that are going to be taught in the millennium. They get that chance, and there's no second chances. It's just they've never heard it before, because, you have a lot of false doctrine out there. You've got hardly any kind of teaching. I know me going back to just being in church, from a very early age, wanting to learn this stuff, and, nobody would touch Revelation, and that was like my favorite one. I wanted to know that one. But even, just the false teaching in Genesis and things like that, it's just, so God has pity on them. And he's, if they didn't have a chance in the first place, then he's going to give them a chance, in the millennium, where Satan is put away, even a seal placed around him so that even his evil spirit will not be able to affect anybody. And people will be left alone, unmolested by this terrible angel that will soon be gone. Thank God, you know. Let's see. Oh, Flora's here. Hi, Flora. So, yeah, so if you guys come across somebody that doesn't want to work with you in the chat, because you know, when people come in here asking questions, I just think that you guys are going to answer it, because you're knowledgeable and you understand. So if you don't want to put up with somebody, you don't have to. Hey, girl. I hope you're doing better. It's been crazy. I know for sure. It's just this world, man. It is getting crazy. Remember when I told you about that oppression? That Satan spirit, that oppression. It's like a hold, a spiritual hold. So the things that you see is, a spiritual tax against us and the people that go with Satan. They're loving it, but that's their father. And so Christians usually have like they can tell, they've got that spidey sense that something is not right, but you can really tell now something is really wrong in the world. And that's just going to come down further and harder, and it's going to separate the people even more to a point where there is a clear divide, and the right go this way, the left go that way. You're going to see that civil war and all that. I mean, and during the sow, I mean, this is kind of a way of, God waking up his people before the sixth trump is with that sow, that spiritual sow is coming down, and it doesn't affect you, but it affects those who, really they can't understand, and they just want to go with the ways of the world. And it's not going to be good. Hopefully I don't know anybody like that, but you're just going to see that. Okay, let's get going. I sat here talked too long. All right, I'm going to go to chapter 18, and then we're going to go over to Jeremiah 50. Okay, so this is more about how Babylon is fallen. Okay, verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. So, when you see all this darkness around, you are spiritually the light to the world. Right now, before Christ returns, I mean, you are that lamp. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and of hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Okay, this is what gets filled up with Babylon. This is what we're seeing, working in the world today. And, this is why there's so much hate. If you're a Christian, I mean, you don't even have to confess to anybody that you are, but being a real Christian and you come up to some of these people, I mean, you could just smile wrong and they'll attack you. They're like wolves. Honestly, they're like wolves. And you get one first attacking, and then you get the bunch that come around and finish you off. So I would just suggest when this stuff starts coming up, this is why you want to get out of the cities and things like that. But just ignore it. You know what I mean? Don't have your pride where you need to be right or anything, because all that is going away anyway. I mean, just protect yourself and your family and just move on. Okay, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So, right now, look how we're seeing the world. I mean, the poor are getting poorer, but the rich are getting richer. And what are they doing with all these trillions and trillions of dollars? They are getting that set up for the one world order. And guess what? They'll start giving you money. What we're seeing right now is just a precursor. It's God saying, wake up. If you read, Revelation, this is a sign. Wake up, because the real deal is coming. So, there's just so much wrapped up in this one world order just to be able to see the signs of it. And we're definitely coming to a point where we're going to have a famine. First, we're going to have a famine of food, real food. And then when the Antichrist is here, it is a famine of knowledge, of truth. So it's kind of funny how that's going to start out. But also in that, God says, don't touch the oil or the wine. So again, we see that we get special protection. But I would say still to, take some precaution, just like in Egypt when Joseph was like, we're going to have 7 years of plenty, and we're going to have 7 years of a famine. It's going to be a bad famine. So just prepare, if God is leading you to that. And I had seen like a timeline for my own self that I didn't. And I was hungry, and I was like, dang. So like 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, I started saving up because I knew there was coming a time where if I didn't do that, I would be hurting for sure. And I'm just like, no, if I can avoid all that, I would have had to gone out and live at my dad's house with that crazy brother, and it would have been horrible, and it would have ended up in a shootout. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Much less, I don't even want to see him again. But this is also the time where you're going to start getting, when you get more knowledge of stuff, God's going to give you more spiritual gifts. And if you want a specific spiritual gift, ask for it. Okay? But He's not going to give you gifts unless you work and show Him. And then He's going to say, okay, you can handle this and do that. But he's not going to give somebody a gift if they're not going to use it right, So just keep at it. Okay, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her plagues. So this is, right before Christ returns. And then also, I mean, you want to get out of it now, because when you're in it, it's going to be a lot harder for you to be able to see really what's going on. But towards the end, a lot of people get out, and those people that get the plagues, the trumpets and all that, those are the bad people. So just remember, just stay on the right side. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her in her iniquities. Reward her as rewarded. So full compensation for what are they doing now to us? They're raping and pillaging the country. They're destroying it. Even though we're still in the wilderness, we're considered to be in the wilderness because we're not home. We're not, Israel is our home. And so even though we're still here, he's still protecting us. But there's a reward for them coming. And double unto her double according to her works. So remember, when you go out, if you died today, the only thing that you could take with you is your works. So you either have good works or bad works, and good works can really cover a multitude of sins. But here it is, double the wrath. Think of that. You know, it's already bad, but double it. In the cup which she hath filled to her double. I mean, this is the end. This is the end of flesh. It's never going to come back. Never. In fact, we're going to be rid of it, even in our minds, at the great white throne judgment, when everything is gone, as far as any evil, even a hint of evil is gone. So, just saying, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to look weird, like the 10 supernatural kings, and it's going to look heavenly, but it isn't. Remember, everything that you see from now on is deception. That's that oppression. Everything that you see now is a deception, but it just gets thicker and harder to see through. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. Now on the fifth trump, remember we read that so is coming down, and what do? They torment the soul, the spirit of that person. And then on the sixth trump, they come in as angels, as we're the 7,000 very elect. We're the kings, the supernatural kings. And Satan sits as God. So just remember, you know, it's not all fighting and everything. It's this deception that's going to look real. For she hath saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day. So remember these plagues that we saw back in 16. You know, we have the first, which are the boils. The second that hits the sea. The third that hits the water. The fourth that scorches men. Then we have the sixth, which is the gathering of Armageddon, which is the revealing, which these kings and nations and people all get together and unify as one. And then, and at that same time, the three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon. This will be Satan himself posing as I think they call it the Madadi, or the 12th Imam that the Islamic Muslims are looking for. He's going to look like that, but as he makes that transition into the fake Messiah, this is what you'll see. Okay, come out of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So, you know, the Euphrates River is going to, you know, clear a way for everybody to come in, just like 2 Thessalonians, where it's like, you know, first you're going to hear about false prophets and things like that. And don't worry about the letter from the 1 Thessalonians. But watch, this evil man comes in. and then he claims to be God. Don't be fooled. And remember, this happens first before Christ returns. So it's going to look like Christ's return. It really is. Okay, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And you know, God can judge you for good or for bad. And they are getting the full wrath. You know, I wouldn't want to be in that position whatsoever. But it is to cleanse the world. Because in the first earth age, we had peace. You read in Job where all the angels in the morning would come together and sing. I mean, we had peace and harmony. There was nothing that, that would harm or anything. And then Satan came out, and he was built up to cover the mercy seat, and then he wanted to sit in it, and then he wanted to take over God. So this is how sin really works. It comes in as a spot. And if you're not, you know, learning and growing in the Word of God, it's easy to get back out into that. So I just suggest study all the time and show yourself approved. But when that happened, Satan went and formed his own church and his own religion. And, you see Atlantis. What was that city? What were they doing? It was very highly advanced and things like that. So was that Satan's, or was that where one of the 12 tribes were there? It's going to be interesting how things really work out. But the first Earth Age and the third Earth Age are the same. It's just going to be turned back to that time. And everything that we're going through now is going to be forgotten. Anybody who got killed or who suffered the second death, and that's at the Great White Throne Judgment, their memory, you won't even know. I mean, they'll just be wiped out of your memory. Okay. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So you're going to have still leaders per se, but you're going to have 10 supernatural kings who are going to be over various places of the earth. And these leaders and things like that right now are fighting for that position. And whether they know it or not, there's 3 kings that are taken up just like that when Satan gets there. It's like, now you need to get out of the way because this new world order is coming in, and you got to make way for the new world order, not for your agenda. So as we go along here in this current time, you're going to see justice. You're going to see things moseying along. You have a base, but you're going to see the highs and lows, wins and losses, up into the Pacific Northwest earthquake. But this, just remember, this is a time to wake up, to understand, because it's a precursor. And it's like, wake up, look at all these volcanoes going off. Look at these earthquakes and storms and wars and rumors. It's like, wake up. And I think it's really doing a good job. You can read on the internet how people are really going, well, Christ is returning. But the big thing is, don't be fooled, because he's coming. The Antichrist is coming as Christ. So there's, most people, yeah, I mean, the majority, except the 7,000 very elect, are going to be fooled. So when that happens, just know, you can plant seeds with them and later they might grow. But at this point, just plant little seeds. Hey, there's a fake Messiah coming or something like that. Okay, now they're going to be like, oh, look at what they're building up now, though. Look at all this, They want communism. They've taken over. They've stolen elections. Look at Venezuela. Did the same thing. But this is what they're doing with the world. So what are they going to do in Germany? Who knows? In different places, there is also over in Africa one that was stolen. And it's like, you can really see the New World Order ramping up. Okay, but this is what they're going to be doing. Standing afar off for the fear of the torment. Well, they helped it along. Saying, alas, alas, the great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour in thy judgment come. And this is what I'm thinking too, that what I have seen is this fake Messiah sitting on a throne in Jerusalem. But there is another place, and I think this is Babylon, like the major commerce. This is where, like, you're going to see that main portal set up, and people going into that area. But when that worship starts, they're going to be in Jerusalem, going all over the place. And that's why it's going to be, trampled on by the Gentiles at that time. But you have the good figs and the bad figs. And it's just going to be an interesting time. Okay, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Well, this is the last time that Babylon, the city, the idea, anything can be built up again. This is Satan's last kingdom, and this is why he is just bent on getting this done, and how vicious you see people. You gotta think my way or you're a bad person. But this is just the spirit. This is his spirit. It's domineering. It's vicious. Okay, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manner vessels of ivory, and all the manner vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and an iron, and marble. This, they take profit over people. If they can sell you something, they will, and they don't think anything about God or anything that maybe he had blessed them with. And this is what's going to be gotten away with. Anything that people can profit or anything like that. In the millennium, there's not going to be any kind of scales that, can be cheated on or anything like that. You're going to have rulers also within the tribes and things set up in that area. The millennium, in Ezekiel basically talks about the structures and the governance in the temple and around it, and how people come in and out. But you're going to need that order as well inside each, of these tribes. And there's going to be a lot of people in there. So it's going to be, still governed, but nothing bad. People getting out of the Gulf area coming into the millennium, they have to work. They have to understand that what happened on earth in that time in the flesh, it's gone. And so you're going to have people who are still, they have their own mindset, and there's going to be people that won't even want to come out, but they have an opportunity, a chance. But you have to build up, and you have to learn that discipline, and that's what it's all about, to get into eternity again. So everybody's tested. I mean, even us, with our discipline and our determination, and how much do we want to learn. I mean, it's not, nobody's given anything. It's like you've worked for it, and you get it. Okay, let's see. And cinnamon and odors, sorry, and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil, fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. So these are all the things, as far as um, the oils like given for the sacrifice and things like that. It's all a new type of sacrifice. It's your love. And but even it's like nothing that offends will get in there. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from me. So there's nothing that can offend, that um, just rip off artists and things like that. And what is your soul? It's basically your body, your flesh body. I want this, give me that. I need sleep, I need food, I need this. All that's going to be gone. Okay, that thy soul lusted after and departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich, look how our money, our tax dollars are going to these big corporations and people in the stock market, and it's not for the people. It's to build this up and to get you ready for being under dominance of this one world order. Okay, which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing in one day. Now think, you're going to get everything coming down, that earthquake that flattens everything. The people will be taken out. Okay, God's people will be taken out, but this wrath is for the bad people. And seeing, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour. So what is the hour that these kings, these supernatural kings, they rule with, or they help rule with Satan under one mind, and when he comes in acting as Christ. So in 1 hour, these things, I mean, it's when I was telling you about when these like these seals start going off and things like that, it is fast. It's very quick. It's like just like when so on the fifth trump, you'll see that, and then very quickly, I mean, it just didn't seem that long. Maybe a month or so, then you see this dead star crossing over, which indicates Satan is here. So, you'll see all these signs, but as you get closer, it's like boom, 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 boom. Just like in childbirth, you get the labor pains. And then as you're getting closer and closer, they get closer together. So it's going to happen very quick, because time has been shortened to the time of the locust. That's where we can see. So from the fifth trumpet into the seventh, it's 5 months. So before then, you'll probably have 5 months with that. So you look at from December to January, January to February, February to March, March to April, April to May. So this is, after the Civil War, when that charter is done, that's when the seals start opening. And you'll really notice them. I mean, things are going to change to a point that people are going to try and rebuild. And this is the hope that the New World Order comes out of, like out of the ashes. Nobody can get along with anybody. There's all these wars and people fighting, and this America's gone though, guys. I mean, you can fight, but it's all going to end up under the New World Order no matter what happens. But it is all part of this. Okay, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. I mean, look how long they've been doing this, and scheming and planning and infiltrating and taking over a government until they achieved it. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off. Well, we see in in the Trumps where you're gonna have like a third of commerce cut off. It says during that time it's gonna be cut off. But at this is like knocked off. Boom, no more. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, the great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her coastlines. For in 1 hour she was made desolate. In that hour, I mean, Satan comes in, he's the desolator. In Daniel, he's the desolation. And God's just coming to clean it up, get rid of it. And they're all gathered conveniently together to just, boom, knock him out. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God hath avenged you on her. So all these things, will be persecuted. There's a persecution, your 10-day or up to 10-day tribulation, personal tribulation. Well, yeah, you're going to have some persecution, but you won't be killed. They'll try to kill you with kindness in some sort of way. Other people will be upset with you because you don't believe and they like this new system. I mean, it's just the whole world will hate you because you're not going along with it, and you won't. And so this is part of building up now, preparing so that when you're put into that position, that you'll be ready. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. Remember, I'm telling you, this is the last kingdom we've had. We've had Nebuchadnezzar, we had Alexander, we had Rome, and then you had the Mohammedans coming in at 636 AC, or was it BC? Well, anyway, they set up then. And so this is the last kingdom, and it's all geographical. Babylon was set to take over the mount over Israel. But you see a lot of different types of antichrist, like Hitler was a good example of an antichrist, and just what you see right now, as far as even in our own government, you see these antichrist types of government policies and things like that. But when you are being delivered up, it's going to be much worse because they're going to hate you because you're standing up. So, whatever happens, happens. It's only up to a 10-day tribulation, so anybody can get through it. Okay, and the voice of the harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpets shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of the millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. So there's nothing. Actually, that area is actually going to be cleansed, you know, and salt over in Babylon area. I mean, just nothing will be in it. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. So remember, as the days of Noah, they were eating and drinking and marrying. That doesn't sound like war to me. They are going to be carrying on as it was in the time of Noah, and they were completely dumbfounded when God acted. And so, as the same thing, they're going to be completely surprised, you know. But they, you know, as far as the Satan seed Kenites, they know what they're doing. And you also have people in politics that know exactly what they're doing. They know. They've made their allegiance. That's what one thing I saw, they're all devil worshippers, you know. So are we ever going to get our country back? No. It's heading, boom, New World Order. Okay. No more at all in thee, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth. What do we have? We have the technocrats and all that. Let's see. Were the great men of the earth, and for by their sorceries were all nations deceived. I mean, sorceries, this witchcraft. I don't know. You can even think about this as like commercials and things, how deceptive they are. They may have underlying types of things that your eyes can't catch, but you can, that your mind picks it up. I mean, there's all sorts of deception and witchcraft and things like that that are on television that your mind, that your eyes can't see. And you also have like the pharmakia, the different types of medicines that aren't truly from God. These are made up synthetic things that, especially the pharmakia that goes with like mental health or pain or anything like that, these are very destructive on the brain. And it is best to be on an herb or something like that, but if you have to take it, just be aware it changes your brain. It is way too strong for your body to even handle it and absorb it. So look how the medical field itself has taken over. All these sick people getting sicker and sicker. It's a sick industry, you know. Honestly, I mean, you can solve that problem by, you know, getting in good, healthy foods and things like that, and getting honest to God truth. But as we have now, we have the FDA and everything going over natural things rather than going over, you know, like this synthetic stuff, you know. So it is really sad how our world has been taken over for a long time, but now it's like in the grasp. We are so close. Okay. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and all those that were slain upon the earth. So, I mean, the Kenites have been killing off the prophets. I mean, who was the first murder? Was Satan, not Satan, but Cain, who came from Satan and killed poor Abel. You know, jealous, upset. When you see someone like that, you know, just because I'm telling you, you know, it's really, it's kind of a bad deal, but just give seeds, you know, try not to, uh, especially now, it's just going to be a little bit harder because of this oppression coming down. But just keep going. I thought I could get through Jeremiah 50, but we'll get through it tomorrow. It's more of a description of what's coming to Babylon and the things for us to look at and to take notice. And you know, there's a lot of things coming, and this is why I'm kind of going over different things so that you can get an idea, because we really went over everything before, you know, not too in depth, but enough to where you can grasp ideas. And now we're going back and we're going to be documenting a lot of this stuff in the Old Testament, and it give you more details and God's anger and his emotions in all this, because he has emotions, and he's like us. I mean, he's El and we're the Elohim. So he made us in his image. He made Christ in his own image. He made you in your own image. So you look like you. When you are in the millennium, you're going to look like you. You'll recognize me. I'll recognize you. So, you know, these are the basic things that we should have been told and taught in the beginning. But, you know, this is the best time to learn it now, because we only have until the sixth trump. So there's going to be times when the internet and things like that aren't going to be up. The communication's going to be off. And I mean, this is going to be a very spotty time. So the best thing to do is, you know, as we go through this, just understand, you know, how to rightly divide the Word of God, understanding the first paragraph may be something about, you know, the first earth age, or it could be about just something regarding this age, but then the second one could be regarding the millennium. I mean, I think that's what is confusing the most for people, but hopefully I've shown you enough that you'll be able to understand that. Let's see. S. Price. Hi, S. Price. He's the new one. Oh, see, Eagle says, I haven't been to a mall for 8 to 6 months and went the other day, and it was very hard to hold back. Let's see what is Price saying here. If I can go back. See, day after tomorrow meets 2012, meet Greenland. Oh yeah, I saw that. That is very good. Eat that little book that's like honey in your mouth, but bitter in your tummy. That 10-day tribulation, or up to. So they can unleash the real vax in air and go hide. That's what I've heard. it could be like where these plagues, these pestilence comes from. They're evil people. They really are. And see, mine says, I don't mean to bring doom and gloom, but I gotta say it. So ready. Well, who? Man, I want to get off this place too. Let's see. So, welcome, Price. It's a really good group in here. It's a constant struggle. The Lord God is the only way. Ooh. Oh, cigs are my weakness at times too. Get a vape. And you don't inhale like all that smoke and stuff. Eagle, your mother-in-law is blessed to have you. Let's see. Flora says, who are we going to be delivered up to, Christy? It's going to be basically, it could be to a synagogue, where everybody is worshiping in your area. And yeah, you'll have to go to church, but to Satan church. And you might have to go there. They might bring you up to one of the supernatural kings. If you're lucky enough to be brought up to Satan himself, I mean, I think those are going to, it's going to be like the real hardcore, like we've got to do something about this, because people, as they're being delivered up, it's going to really make Satan panic and get upset and mad. And so I think that's like his last ditch effort. Like, if the kings can't persuade them, and if, the councils and things like that, then I can. But that's when it really gets hit hard. And that's the closest to when Christ comes. So, those being delivered up first, those are to the councils and things like that. So it just depends. I mean, where you're at and what your destiny is. Let's see. Astronomers, science guys in the know say East Coast might get chilly. Let's see. Oh, that is so weird you'd say that, Eagle. She said, I'm feeling dizzy. I don't know why. Anyone else feeling a little dizzy? Yeah, actually I have. It's like the past couple days, like it's like, whoa. And usually when I feel that, a big earthquake happens. So the last time that I felt like that, I was talking to my friend Marla. I said, I'm super, super dizzy. And I said, there's a big earthquake. Well, this is going to happen. She's got, I don't know. Well, guess what happened? It was the Japan earthquake that, I think it was a 10-pointer too. It was like, oh my gosh. She actually called me up. It was like late at night. She's, go look at the TV. And I'm like, what? Saw that it was the whirlwind, the whirling water, and a boat was in that going around and around. I'm like, dang. Spidey senses. So maybe, in your area, Eagle, something you might get an earthquake over there. It's like everything is moving, but I'm staying in the same spot. Yeah, even as I was teaching, I got a sudden get of this dizziness. I'm like, ooh, it was weird. You're in Florida. Ah, I hope you don't get an earthquake over there. Try to stand on cement if you do. Let's see. Let's see, mine says I just started tea with half spoon thyme, quarter teaspoon fresh ginger, teaspoon hone 1 or 2 a weekish. Don't drink the thyme or the thyme ginger. Let it settle in the bottom and the lungs feel better. Fleur says I started smoking mullein and yerba santa to help clear the lungs. Yeah, there's just so many natural things that are good for your body that you can do. See, honey. Yeah, I love honey. Let's see. God bless my mom. Brought me new PJs this past Christmas. Ooh. There was this store that was all dedicated for these really soft pajamas, and I got some. And oh my gosh, it's like you want to stay in them. What is it, kitty? So, I'm gonna get going because I'm still having a little bit of memory issues in this. It's not uploading, but it's still going onto the channel. So I'm going to try to get that fixed, but I've got like five videos now that are just hanging on trying to upload. And that's the same thing that happens when I try to just upload my own videos. So I hope it's nothing that is going to cause problems. But I accidentally deleted one. So, and when I deleted it, I thought, well, maybe I can go ahead and try to upload it again. Well, deleted it. It was gone. So guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same channel. We're going to be going over Jeremiah 50 because we didn't get that today. Jeremiah 50 and 51 are both really important to know and understand because that's all really the end time. Oh, this cat. Ah, she's attacking. Okay, kitty. Ah. Okay. Okay, guys. Stay well and see you tomorrow.